in service for over 50 years and still going strong. No modern rifle is more American than this particular Patriot.
All right, y'all, welcome back to Combat Arms channel. Okay, I'm really excited about this video, not gonna lie. So this video is just titled M16, and this is from the YouTube channel Ahoy. So we've checked out their previous video about the P90, and I mean, you guys already know I'm a huge fan of the P90, but today we are talking about the M16. Now, the M16 has a place that's very near and dear to my heart. Now, it was the first firearm, the first real firearm that I ever fired. And to this day, it's one of the smoothest firearms to shoot. I don't know why, it's just, everything just works so well with it. Even just like a military grade M16, which really isn't too finely tuned, it's just so smooth to shoot. So I'm really excited to check it out and learn a little bit more about the history of the M16s. Now, if I have some pictures with me and the M16, then I'll post them up periodically. But yeah, let's get into it. This is gonna be a cool one.
The traditional rifle is forged from iron, furnished in wood. It should kill a man in a single shot and kick like a mule in the process. This one, however, was different.
Oh man, the introduction is so good.
Is a definitive American weapon that dared to break tradition in the face of modern warfare.
Fuck yeah.
Controversial at first, it managed to shed its bad reputation and became an institution. So,
yes.
Why did the US abandon their .30 caliber tradition? What problems did the new platform face?
I gotta say, just the clips of them shooting the M16 in video games and whatnot is so cool. Because, I don't know, this was like a really weird thing, but growing up, knowing that I was going to go in the Marine Corps and knowing the Marine Corps had the M16, I would like use the M16 in games like Call of Duty 4 or Battlefield Bad Company 2. And I don't know why, I wanted to see if I could be good in a video game, if somehow that would help me be good with the M16 in real life. I don't really know how that transferred over, but it was just something I like to do. So that's what it's reminding me of.
And how did it go on to become
there you go.
Definitive black rifle?
Hell yeah.
World War II changed everything. Traditional tactics were outmoded. Combat was faster paced and closer ranged. This meant battles were no longer won by marksmanship. Instead, victory correlates with sheer volume of fire.
That's a good point.
Armalite was founded in 1954 as a division of Fairchild Aircraft, and design was led by American small arms designer Eugene Stoner.
Legend.
In response to the US need for a new rifle, the AR-10 was developed, making liberal use of modern materials for a lightweight automatic rifle design. Its hollow core fiberglass furniture and aluminium receiver made for a thoroughly modern platform. It retained the .308 Winchester cartridge of more traditional designs, but despite excellent recoil control, the full power cartridge was not well suited to full auto in such a light weapon.
Yeah, no doubt.
The need for a smaller, intermediate cartridge became clear. The NATO 5.56mm round was born from an earlier commercial Remington offering, with an increased powder load to meet minimum velocity and penetration requirements.
Yeah, I guess, so I know the 5.56 was like developed as like a NATO round. I'm not really sure. I guess learning the history of the rounds themselves would also help to see how that sort of shaped how certain weapons would be developed. Because again, the M16 was trying to be very modern, very lightweight, and it needed the ammunition to match. And again, it gets like some lightweight recoil, and at the same time, you can carry more ammo. So I understand why they went with that sort of ammunition. Because, I mean, the 5.56 is a pretty neat little round.
It allows soldiers to carry twice the ammunition for the same weight.
There you go.
And despite the smaller projectile, terminal ballistics remain impressive due to yawing and fragmentation in flesh. The Armalite AR-10 was adapted to fire this smaller cartridge, and the resultant rifle was dubbed the AR-15.
There it is.
The design rights were sold to Colt in 1959, and under their patronage, the AR-15 was adopted by the US Army in 1962.
Okay. Yeah,
with a new role came a new designation, the M16.
I wonder why it was called the M16
before the rifle's first trial. Under the challenging political conditions of the mid-1960s, deployed in the midst of the Vietnam War.
Okay, so I have a family buddy who, well, I guess not really family. He's not really a buddy. He's someone I look up to, but I have a family acquaintance that was in Vietnam and used the M16A1. And I gotta say, from what I heard, it was not well liked early on in the Vietnam War, but I guess they were able to appreciate it a little bit later on. But yeah, it definitely didn't start off as a troop favorite whenever it was finally put into service, because it wasn't totally reliable and people just felt like it felt like a toy as opposed to like an AK-47 that was made of like steel and wood. It was very, very different.
Mattel 16. Poodle shooter. The new rifle was not received well.
Ah, that's funny. There you go.
Its small
Mattel
size
16.
and lightweight construction led to comparisons with a toy, and its less powerful cartridge made some doubt its lethality. However, one unforgivable, fatal flaw was the early rifle's reliability in the field.
Yeah.
A change in powder type radically altered the ammunition's pressure curve, with a drastically higher PSI raising cyclic rate and leading to extraction failures.
Okay,
The
I
earliest
didn't know
issued
what
rifles
caused
also
it.
lacked a chrome-lined bore, and combined with challenging jungle conditions and lax maintenance based on a belief that the weapon was self-cleaning, the M16
Yeah, okay.
quickly gained a bad reputation.
Snap. Not the
Its
best
failures
idea.
were widespread, with 80% of soldiers reporting experience with stoppages, and the effects potentially lethal.
Yeah, true.
A crisis no one needed. At a time when public opposition to the war was nearing its peak, it's not surprising swift action was taken.
Good
The
stuff.
upgraded M16A1 was introduced in 1967, resolving most issues and helping to quickly re-earn trust in the weapon.
I love the clips,
By
man. It's so good.
1968, the rifle was well liked by those who used it, and despite its shaky start, few bear any grudge against the platform today. Lightweight and easy to handle, yet accurate and with a round that punches above its weight. The M16
I like that.
set the standard for modern military rifles, and as a result, it's easy to forget how revolutionary it was upon its introduction.
Yeah, because again, I mean, you got to think. So in the 60s, not many firearms were using these sort of like materials. Like the MP5, early MP5 was probably pretty similar. But again, you think of the MP5, that was extremely innovative for its time. So the M16 is definitely up there as far as utilizing those new materials, and then also just breaking the curve for what a normal firearm was expected to be, or a normal military assault rifle was expected to be. Because, I mean, going from an M14, very like, what, it's like 10 pounds or something, uses a 7.62 by 51 or the 308 round, going from that to an M16 is going to be a night and day difference. Not just for the lightweight of the ammunition and the weapon itself, but also just the ergonomics, because the M14 was based off of, early like hunting rifles or bolt action rifles, really muskets, not really totally ergonomic. When you see weapons today, they look much more similar to the M16 than they do the M14.
It was very much a product of the space age. Highly engineered materials, an outlandish sci-fi appearance, and sleek black exterior. It set a
Definitely
fashion
sleek.
for all military rifles that followed. Now, there was no place for wooden stocks in a truly modern fighting force.
Hell yeah.
In service for over 50 years, and still going strong. No modern rifle is more American than this particular Patriot.
Fuck yeah.
It's because of this long use by the world's most powerful nation that the M16 is a frequent sight in games. Coupled with a decade of popular modern military shooters, and fans of the rifle are spoiled for choice. Anywhere the
Yes,
American
sir.
armed forces are present, this weapon will follow. It's the default option for US troops, at least in those instances where it's not been usurped by its little brother, the M4.
Yeah.
Quite often, it will be depicted not as an automatic weapon, but instead as one firing 3-round bursts.
Yep.
The original M16 and M16A1 were capable of fully automatic fire, but the later M16A2 variant replaced it with a 3-round burst instead.
Yep. And
This
the
was done in an
A4.
effort to preserve ammunition, while still putting multiple rounds down range. Otherwise, it can be all too easy to empty a magazine without good discipline.
Yeah, so not gonna lie, I don't know how to feel about the burst fire. Because here's the thing, with the full auto, like the M4 A1 and the M16 like A3 or whatever, if you're shooting it in full auto, if you just do a quick pull of the trigger, you can get like 2, 3, 4 round bursts pretty easily. And it's nice to just have that ability to go full auto if you need to, especially if you're trying to break contact and you're trying to get a lot of firepower down range very quickly. It's pretty nice, especially people might think you have a machine gun on your side. I mean, because that's basically what it is. It's nice to have that full auto capability. And I will say in the Marine Corps and in the Army, I have not used burst for anything except for when you're on the range and you're trying to do those recoil management drills. It's fun to do that, but other than that, it's really not that great.
A magazine without good discipline. In games, the burst fire helps to differentiate the M16 from the automatic rifles on offer.
Call of Duty
Burst
4.
rifles add variety and the potential for a new balanced tier. Easy to handle, accurate, and dropping targets with a single well-aimed burst.
And it sounds cool.
The AR-15 platform might have half a century of experience, but it remains as popular as ever, both in military roles and civilian use.
Hell yeah.
Steadfast in service in the face of potential replacements. Perhaps it didn't get off to the greatest start, but all considered, it probably doesn't matter.
It's doing pretty well.
It wasn't the rifle America wanted, but instead, the one they needed.
Nice.
Some things might be worth clinging to, but ignore the evolution of the battlefield at your peril. It dared to defy
Well
military
said.
tradition and established a new standard for assault rifles in the process. The M16. Lightweight,
Ooh,
space age,
that music.
an American classic.
Hell yeah, brother.
Thank you very much
Wow.
for watching, and until next time, farewell.
Man, these videos are so good. So again, this is the YouTube channel Ahoy. I will put the original video in the description for you guys to check out. Please check out the channel. It is fantastic. I gotta say, these weapon series are so good. I definitely want to check out some more. I know they have one of the AK-47 and also one of the M9, so I'm really excited about that. But I mean, so yeah, I mean, you guys know I love the M16. I had to buy one for myself just because, even though it's not like totally practical in today's combat, especially when you're talking about urban combats, it's a pretty long sucker, but don't take that out of context. But not gonna lie, again, it's so smooth. It looks cool, especially when you get to have your own one and it's not totally beat up. It's just, I don't know, it is a classic, and it's just and a part of American history. And just owning one is, I don't know, it's just cool to have. So there's not very many weapons that are more American than the M16 at this point. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any other comments or experiences to share about the M16, please feel free to put it down below. If you're in like a different military and you happen to fire an M16 or an M4, definitely let me know how that was compared to what you're used to firing. But I gotta say, I love the platform. And yeah, I mean, you look at weapons today and they look very similar to how the AR-15 looked back in the 60s. But I can go off all day about the M16, so I will cut it off here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. You can hit the thumbs up, comment, let me know what you think, share those experiences, share those opinions about the M16, and definitely subscribe to the channel. That is it for this video, so I will see y'all in the next one.